What's up, guys? Welcome to another speed build. I hope you're all having a wonderful day. Today we are over in Copperdale and I am building a family starter home that is 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. This is on, I believe this is a 20 by 15 lot. It's the one directly facing the pier over at Copperdale. I love this lot. The only problem I have with it is the fact that it is so small. It makes it so hard to have a bigger yard, but with that being said, it is the perfect lot to have a starter home on, which is why I am focusing on a starter home today. And this video is a little bit different than my normal speed builds in the way that this one is actually not sped up super fast. So this is going to be a little bit of a slower paced video. I don't know what to say. I think I am just getting way too fast at building these starter homes. It only really took me an hour in real time to do this starter home. So that is like record timing for me. I usually do it in like 3 hours, maybe 4, but this one went by so quickly. And I mean, I guess that I'm not really complaining about that. Another thing to note about this starter home, so it is technically a starter home price, but it is not under 20,000 simoleons. So you will actually need at least 3 sims, if not 4 sims, to be able to completely move into this house and not have to delete any objects before moving in. But I figured if you're starting out in Copperdale, most likely you're going to have a few sims anyways, because you want that teenager to be able to go to high school. And so I had that in mind as I was building this, so I gave myself a pass this time to make it under 24. It's about a little bit over 24,000 simoleons. So you start out with 26,000 if you have 4 sims. So if you get this house and you have 4 sims, you will have an additional like 2,000 or 3,000 simoleons. And so at least that's plenty to start out with, and you can actually fully decorate the house exactly how you want it. Since, yes, this is a starter home, so it's not completely decorated like I usually would like to do it. But that actually leads me to my next point, that I had a subscriber of mine that had a great idea on my last starter home. She suggested for me to refurnish that starter home with no budget and then repost it as like a second video. And I actually really like that idea. The only thing is that I only have, a few starter homes on my channel, so I am going to build a few more and then start that as like a complete series of like furnishing my starter homes or something of the sort. I'm not really too sure how I'm going to name it, but something of the sort. So a big thanks to Tier 786. That is the subscriber that mentioned that, and I love that idea, so thank you so much for that great idea. And if anybody else has any other suggestions on builds that they would love to see me do, definitely let me know in any of the comments on any of my videos. I love to hear your suggestions and definitely open to them. So as far as the design for this house, obviously I was going with like a craftsman vibe, but I was keeping the earthy colors that Copperdale has around with the other houses. I really love this color scheme, especially for Copperdale. It blends in so well. And I did like a stone on the bottom. Usually when I do craftsman style houses, I do the brick on the bottom, but it was really a nice change to do like the stone instead of the brick. I really like that, and it matches so well with the light beige paneling at the top. And I also opened up the privacy fence in the back to lead towards that like little bench sitting area that is overlooking the bay. If that's a bay, I'm not really sure if that's a bay or a river or a lake or whatever. I'm calling it a bay for this video. It could be different in another video. I don't know. It really depends on the day for me, to be totally honest. But you guys know what I'm talking about. I did really want to leave that open so that it's easy access to get to that little sitting area. I think it's so cute. It kind of tells a story that maybe the family that lives here put that bench and they like to hang out and just overlook the water. Maybe that's the teen's favorite hangout with her friends or maybe her boyfriend. And if you have Love Struck installed, then I think that is the pack that introduced cuddling and watching stars on benches. So I could totally see like your teenager with their significant other and just hanging out over there overlooking the water and watching the stars and having like a little cute moment. I think that sounds so adorable. We are working on the floor plan, and I decided to keep in the very first floor plan that I was trying to design. So you'll see me kind of fiddle around with it a little bit. I decided, since this is such a short video as it is, it kind of gives the perfect opportunity to really see how like I design my floor plans and how the process usually goes. It never is like a first time thing. You usually have to finesse and work on a floor plan for a little bit before you decide on that perfect floor plan that you want. And since, you know, this is a short video, plus it's slowed down like extremely, you can really see what I'm doing. I figured it was, you know, the perfect opportunity to show how the process actually goes. So that is why you'll see me kind of remove and replace a whole bunch of different things until I finally get to the final floor plan. I did struggle a little bit with this floor plan, trying to decide where like the dining table was going to go and where the kitchen was going to go, where the living room, the master bedroom. I really wanted to have like 3 bedrooms in this house, and it was important for me to have the master downstairs for whatever reason. I felt like it just makes sense to have a master downstairs and then the other 2 like spare bedrooms upstairs. I really just love that almost split floor plan type of style. It really makes a lot more sense to me than having like a spare bedroom plus the master upstairs and then the additional spare bedroom downstairs. Now sometimes that is how it has to happen, but I was able to figure out how not to let that happen this time around, so that was really nice. I also really wanted the master to have its own bathroom, but it didn't really work out in this case. So we do have 2 bathrooms that technically can be used by any sim. And so none of them are tied down to any particular bedroom, which, you know, it's not ideal, but it is what it is. I was actually able to furnish both bathrooms completely. One has a shower, one has a tub. So you kind of get the best of both worlds there. Technically, you don't need a tub in this house because I do not have a toddler or an infant in this house. We have a teen and we have a child plus 2 parents. While we are on the subject of The Sims, I will give you a little bit of a backstory for this particular family that I was thinking of as I was building. It's really not a major storyline. It's just, you know, something super simple and sweet, just like this video. This video is very simple, very short, very sweet. So it is a brand new school year here in Copperdale, and this teenager is attending high school for the very first time. They just aged up not long ago from a child to a teen, and as you can imagine, these parents are so happy but so sad at the same time. It's like a bittersweet feeling. They cannot believe that they are old enough to have a teenager. It's just, you know, so crazy to them that they officially have a high schooler that lives in their house. But they cannot be more excited for their teen at the same time. They remember their high school years. It is a major milestone for everybody in their life. A lot of things happen in high school. You really grow a lot as a person in high school. You go from being so innocent and so childlike to being almost like an adult. I mean, you're not really, I don't know. Technically 18 is an adult here in the US, but you still have so much learning to do after you turn 18. Like, you really don't become an adult, in my opinion, until you're at least like 20 to 22. That's when you really mature and get out of that childlike mentality. And honestly, it's even later for some people, but that's another story. But anyways, here in the US, 18 is technically an adult. So high school, you go from being so innocent, so childlike, to being an adult by time you graduate in just 4 short years. So high school in The Sims and in real life is such a huge growing experience for everybody. Like, it's kind of crazy, to be honest. But like I was saying, these parents cannot be more excited for their teen to officially start high school, and the teen themselves, they are so excited to start this new chapter in their life. There's so many things that they want to accomplish in high school, and it's gonna be kind of hard for them to pick and choose. They really like the thought of joining cheer. Maybe they want to join the computer team. Maybe they want to do both. They really are not 100% sure what they want to do as of yet, but they do really enjoy playing video games, but they really enjoy staying active and working on their physical skills too. So they're really kind of torn. Maybe they'll do both. I think they'll have plenty of time to be able to do both, and I will leave that up to you guys if you do download this and you stick with this kind of storyline. And something that they are like mostly excited about is attending prom for the very first time. They cannot wait. Luckily at Copperdale, they have prom for everybody. It's not just like a senior prom. It's almost more like a homecoming. I feel like they should have named it homecoming and not prom. I wish they would have had 2 different things. You know, all of the senior, quote unquote senior Sims, they get prom, but then everybody else, they get homecoming every year. And that's how it is in real life. So yeah, I really wish that's how they would have designed it, but I guess that would have just been a little bit too much to fit in an expansion pack. Even though it is an expansion pack, there should be a lot of stuff. But what can I say? At least we got prom. Whatever. Better than nothing, I guess. But yeah, I mean, that is basically it for the little bit of a backstory. Very short, very sweet, but it's something to inspire you guys if you do download this. We are working on the outside now. Like I said, this came together so quick. Like, the inside basically furnished itself, it felt like. And same with the landscaping. Like, I don't know, I just did it super fast, but I really like the way it came out. It's super like cozy feeling, and I love that. Also, the more stuff you guys add on the inside, the more cozier it's going to feel. Since it is so like tight and small on the inside, the more stuff you add, the cozier it will be. By the way, I do want to mention this before I forget. If you hear any sort of like buzzing in the background, the cicadas outside of my house are going absolutely insane today, and I can't do anything. I can't do anything about that. So I'm sorry if you guys do hear that. Hopefully you don't. But I did want to mention it just in case you do. I also totally forgot to mention, you probably noticed by now, but I did only use base game in high school years for this build. So this is technically limited pack build, and I probably should have said it in the beginning, but at least I remembered to say it now. Better late than never. That is like literally the quote that I live by. So I am now outside of the build working on finishing up the landscaping and also going to finish up the terrain paint as well. And I'm using all debug landscaping, of course. This is a starter home, and that is what I do with starter homes because I like it to not look like a starter home, you know? I really like it to look as filled up and as expensive as possible. That's always the goal, is to make it look more expensive than it is. In real life too. But unfortunately, the video is about to come to an end. Like I said, it was a very short and sweet video for today, but I am so excited that fall is starting. It's not officially fall yet until like September 22nd or something like that, but we are officially in September, so in my mind, it is officially fall, which means I am going to start doing some fall builds and I cannot be more excited. You've probably seen me put a fall inspired welcome mat in front of the front door on this build. That was something I knew I wanted to do as soon as I started building, and it was one of the first things I placed, which makes me really want to build a fall house at this moment. So with that being said, I will let you guys go and I will go start on a fall inspired build. I cannot be more excited. I've been waiting at least until September to start building for fall here in The Sims, and I'm so excited. It's finally September. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Of course, if you did, please be sure to leave a like and also subscribe if you have not already. And also, like I said earlier in the video, if you have any video build suggestions, definitely let me know down in the comments. I love to read your comments and read your suggestions, and it really gives me ideas. So yeah, definitely feel free to do that down below. I hope you all have an amazing day or night wherever you are, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys.